Well, hey, Christy.
What is up, Kelly? How are you?
It's Monday.
Morning. It's Monday morning. It's my least favorite time of the absolute week. And sad that this is the only time in the next 2 weeks that we have, or from last week to next week, to record this.
I
But
know. And then I was like, you know what I need this early to podcast? A Diet Coke.
I just saw that. I'm like, I'm still on coffee, but are you on the East Coast right now?
I am, but I already had one coffee, and then I was like, it's easier to sip from a straw of a cold drink than to sip a hot drink. So I have an empty coffee mug that is waiting for coffee number 2. And in the meantime, I've subbed in its good, bubbly, spicy friend, Diet Coke.
Right. So now we're going to be 3 caffeines in. Well, I am no caffeines in, Christy. I am no caffeines, Christy, mostly because my son, who in the middle of the night decided to poop himself. Yes, my Monday started off with actual shit at 12:30 at night. And I can't remember. Go ahead.
Tell me the week's going to go real bumpy without telling me the week's going to go bumpy. 12:30 a.m. Monday, poop.
12:30 a.m. Monday poop. And the poor kid, he's like, Mom, I was sleeping and I just thought I had to toot. And I'm like, hey, happens to the best of us, dude. But like, we had to get up. I had to full on shower the kid. I mean, it was a whole production. So of course I lay there wide awake until 3 a.m. trying to solve all of my life's problems, which I got nowhere.
Just a quick question. Whose bed was he in?
Oh, he was in mine.
I hope he had tight bottoms on to just trap it at least a little bit.
He was wearing his pull-ups. He still wears pull-ups because he's growing so fast. And this is what the doctor says. Every once in a while he has an accident. And can I just tell you, if it's been a while since you've cleaned up pee, it's a big deal. I mean, it's like mattresses and whatever and all of these things. And
I feel like a poop accident is probably almost easier on the bed than a pee accident. Harder on the person, easier on the bed.
Oh, 100%. I mean, it's disgusting, but it's easier to clean up. But, we had our first full week of school last week.
Yes. Bless.
Dare I tell you what happened with Presley this week?
What did she lose?
She has a boyfriend.
She gained and you lost. Okay.
Who said I love you already?
Now, who is this boy? Is this a boy from before? Who's like fresh out of Compton?
Okay. Net new.
How did we go from stranger to love in 5 business days?
I don't know.
Is this a reality TV episode that you've enrolled her in?
Well, I mean, she gives me the tea every day, and like people are like, this is like a soap opera. It's like Guiding Light over at California Trail. Someone stole someone's boyfriend, and I'm like, what is happening? You all are way too young for this. And then I do have in our catch up, because I don't remember, did we even get the full recording of last week? Because I think
no, guys, we did a whole catch up on all the things for the last couple of weeks, and then in editing it, for whatever reason, my soundtrack disappeared. So it's like 20 minutes of just Christy responding to nothing that I'm like, I said funny things here. There was, Dear Riverside, that's the studio that we record on. If you could kindly let me know, because even ChatGPT couldn't help me figure it out. I could not retrieve my audio. Disappointing, to say the least. So we did catch up. Just nobody else knows what we caught up on.
It was my funniest work yet, and Kelly messed it all. Thanks, Kelly. I think you did it on purpose because maybe you were a little jealous.
I mean, we could test it. We could just put it out there, and it's only your talk track, and we'll see how funny it is.
I feel like without context, there's a small problem with that one. I definitely if someone just took what I said in a day with no context, we'd probably be sued.
Yeah, they're she mad. If they're, it's less about, but I'm dumb, and more about why she's so mad.
What is happening here? Okay. Also, you at the end of the podcast last week, which made me feel kind of awkward or whatever. But this is worth talking about. So I've lost a little bit of weight. I've lost like 10 pounds, probably gained about 5 of muscle because I've been really, really, really working out and making sure I get all that protein in, guys. And, watching those calories. So I've been getting a lot of attention, and people are saying things to me like, oh my gosh, you look great, which, you're like, oh, thanks. But then also, the whole like, did I look so terrible before?
This is always, that's every girl's stupid problem. When somebody says, oh my God, you look so great, you think, why did I used to look like shit?
Did I look so bad before that but people are noticing. which is fine. I'm like, oh, thank you. Yes, I've been working out. Move on. I've been on a diet since I was 5. My weight's been all over the place, and I've had plenty of times where I have said, oh, thank you many times for being complimented on my looks. That sounds bad, but that's not what I meant. Okay, no coffee. Last night, Presley says, Mom, you look really thin. And I did not know what to say. I was like, oh, mommy's just getting really strong.
Yeah.
But I was like, shit, what do I say? I don't want to, again, I'm very conscious of Presley's self body image because heroin chics back, kids. And this kid's an athlete. Like you know, her legs are ripped. And so she doesn't look like all the little girls running around that are like super, super thin. And she's never going to have that physique because she needs the muscle. I mean, she's tiny, she's cute, she's precious. But I'm just really conscious because I have had to have a ton of therapy undoing the disaster that is my mental image of myself. And I think a lot of women's from Gen X and Gen Z, maybe everyone's. I don't know. So what do you say when your kid says that?
No, here's what I just had this conversation on the weekend. We were at my girlfriend's lake house. I'm not saying cottage because it's too pretty to say cottage. And so my daughter and her bestie were there, and they were in bikinis, as you do when you're 20 years old. And we had this whole dialogue. What I love about once they're 20 is you can sort of take the facade of the words you said when they were growing up away. So Emery used to say similar things to me, and you would respond in a way that was completely hypocritical to the way you were thinking about yourself. So you would say the things to them that you couldn't and didn't ever say to yourself. Like you just described Presley's musculature, and you're an athlete, and you were never going to look like that. And that's not something to strive towards because it's just never in your DNA. And so when they're 20, we have this conversation, and it was funny because now I could just say, yeah, I was totally telling you things that I myself cannot believe about myself. And it was so liberating. And so Emery was now at an age where she realizes, oh yeah, Mom, I know you feel this way about yourself, and you would never say that to me. Like she's replaying the words that I would say to pump her up and hype her up, and knowing now in her 20s, well, you never felt that way. You were just saying it to be a good mom and to not let that be in my head. And you're just like, yay, me.
Go me. I'm still in therapy for it.
Go me crushing it as a mom, not as a female.
No, that's part of being a mom. But no, it was funny because I mean, it's rare to catch me speechless. But I just like looked at her doe-eyed, and I looked over at my mom, and I looked back at her. I was like, yeah, mommy's just working on getting strong. And also Presley's a small child. She's not like
she's not tall. She's not humongous.
Taller. No, but she is very, I mean, she is very muscular because she has to be to play the sports she plays.
Well, and I danced when she was Presley's age, and it's like 5'8.5". Like she's my daughter. She's not this tiny little waif of a thing, although she is quite a bit thinner than like bone structure wise. She's tinier than me. But she danced with these tiny little girls, like tiny, teeny, tiny. Because even now that they're 20, you see them and they're still like 5'2" and 95 pounds soaking wet. You can't aspire to look like that. Your thighs will never look like theirs because you have too much bone layered on muscle, layered on skin, and none of it is fat. Like you just can't shrink to that size ever. It's the hardest part about raising daughters.
You could, but you would have to really starve yourself to get there. Yeah, it is hard about raising daughters. And Presley and I, again, have started having a lot of conversation about nutrition because she's all about fuel. She's like, I want muscle. I want to be the best. I want to win. And so, we talk a lot about like protein and fruits and vegetables and making sure you're getting in like good carbs and all those things. But anyways, last night took me by surprise. That wasn't on my bingo card for today, but thanks for the little tip before I went to bed, Presley. I was going to go have ice cream, but I'm not going to go have that ice cream because
it's good you went to bed in a good headspace because boy, did it turn south real quick once you went to bed. Can I also just say I love the fact that this podcast episode was introduced by Christy, the topic of poo, not Kelly. I can't even tell you the last time I brought up poop on the podcast. It's been a long time.
Sometimes you can't, can't get away from shit. You just can't. Shit happens. No, shit happens. Shit happened at 12:30 last night. It happened.
Andrew and I are religiously observing dog poops because my stupid dog got into the garbage a couple of weeks ago and $2,400 later, and his stomach pumped of corn cobs and paper towels. We're now still tracking to make sure that he is pooping and nothing is clogged up. So I'm always a poop checker.
Gross. Okay, well, moving on. I almost threw up 600 times last night. What are we actually supposed to be talking about today? Oh, can I tell you that I do have a fun week planned?
You do have a fun week? Okay, tell me about
Check it. Okay, Wednesday morning, leave for Vegas.
Oh.
Thursday night,
Immediately out.
Backstreet Boys.
Yes, yes. Did you pack your sparkly sequined outfit and all your white stuff?
I have packed nothing yet. You know me. I'm not going to pack to the morning of, and then I'm going to, my friend's like, what are you bringing to Vegas? I'm like, I don't know. I'm just going to throw some slutty dresses and then see what happens. Like, what does one wear in Vegas? I don't know. We're there for one extra night. We're not going to be blinged out by the Backstreet Boys. I'm like, also, it's like the surface of the sun in Vegas right now, and they say it's a dry heat. It don't matter, y'all. Your face is going to melt off.
100 is 100. I did notice. I still have California on my weather app. It's a bit spicy down there this week.
So we land at like 4:55 on Friday, right? We get back on Friday. My friend who's going with us is then hosting a Chiefs party at her house at 7:00. So she hasn't.
You're landing at 5 and she's hosting at 7?
Correct. And so we're all going to go over there. And then the next morning, I've got what is it if they're your nephew's kid?
Your great nephew?
Great niece?
Well, if it's a girl, yeah.
Yeah, my great niece's birthday party, and they're coming in from Virginia, and it's a Wonderland party, like Alice in Wonderland.
Alice?
Everyone has to dress up, which I haven't even figured out my costume. But the sad thing is, I'm pretty sure I could pull a Queen of Hearts out of my current wardrobe without even having to order anything. I don't know what that says about me, but whatever. And then that night, I'm hosting like 25 people for my friend's birthday party. And then Sunday, I think I'll be dead.
So basically, it's Monday morning, you got 2 days to rest up, and then it all kicks off. 5 days of shenaniganery.
I hope no one needs anything from me next Monday, because Mondays are usually a low-key day for me. Like, I try not to have a lot of meetings. I'm like, I'm not real smart on Mondays. Like, Mondays, like, I sit there and type emails and maybe work on presentations. And
Friday is an administrative day. You're like, I got to do all these things that I put off all week. And then Monday, you need to sort of slow ramp into the week. Give yourself a couple of conversation type things, but not big projects, and then leave lots of creative thinking time or just catch up time. Some Mondays, I can't even remember my password. I'm like, how did I forget it in 48 hours? Tuesday, I always overcomplicate my day. I have a lot of faith in myself the week prior to a Tuesday, and I hate Tuesday every time. I'm like, who books my calendar? Oh, yeah, me. Dummy.
Well, Tuesday through Thursday, I'm on it. You can get, I will kill it, but
not Monday, not Friday.
I can barely get words out.
I have to quickly check my calendar that I don't have work calls with Christy next Monday. Reschedule.
No, usually. And then we had one on a Friday afternoon at like 2, which I'm like, that is illegal. And it was a real one. Like, I had to like present to this client. She's such a bitch.
Can I just tell everybody, I joined said Friday afternoon call, and I feel like it was 3-ish. Like, it was not noon. It was solidly into Friday afternoon. And because it was
2 my time.
Yeah, 3:00 my time, yeah, right. So did I have a cocktail? Yeah, it's Friday. And so my team is on the call, like aghast. Is that a cocktail? And meanwhile, I get on the call with Christy, and her team's like, damn right, that's a cocktail. Of course it is. So is mine. I'm like, see?
These are mine was hidden in a Starbucks cup because I didn't know what I was getting into. I was like, so traditionally I do not have meetings afternoon on a Friday. It is a hard and fast rule with me. I'm like, I am done. My brain is spent. And the amount of thinking we did on that call was actually quite impressive because we solved a lot of the world's problems, real world problems.
Thank God for AI transcribing because we're shit at taking notes, but we're real good at talking.
Yeah, part of my next step, take the transcript of what Kelly wanted to say in this presentation and send it to her so she remembers exactly what she needs to say. We figured out your whole presentation. Anyways, but I show up and at least have it in a Starbucks cup.
Here's the thing, though. Mine was just in a glass. And it was a clear drink with ice cubes. And so here's the problem. Clearly, I have set a narrative around my drinking habits. I can't even have it in a glass. One time, I have a regular recurring bi-weekly call with my senior sales leader and my finance business partner, and we go over the numbers. And it's typically like 4 p.m. because the day's numbers come around 3 o'clock. So it's at 4 p.m. So you best bet that I'm going to have something on that drink or on that call. And sometimes I just straight up put red wine in a tall glass and I don't even care because these two are, I work with all the time. One time I came on, I thought, Kelly, you shouldn't be so overt. Put it in like a tumbler. So I put it in one of my shaker cups. They're like, who are you trying to kid? We know, is that wine in there? And I'm like, nope, choose your own adventure. What do you think? I'll give $20 to the person who gets it right. It was a high noon, but I was like, damn it, I can't even have a regular glass. And they're thinking, this is booze.
It's funny to listen to you talk on this because you would think that you drink quite a bit because we always joke about it. But you are like a 1 to 2 drink person. Like you're like I'm gonna have a cocktail and relax and be done. Like you're not like getting smashed from 3 o'clock on.
No, and that's credit to perimenopause, because if I have more than 2 drinks, and it used to just be wine, specifically red wine, ouch, and now it's just moved to all booze. If I have more than 2, I am going to get so incredibly stuffed up that I can't even breathe out of my nose. I have to sleep sitting up. Weird and not wonderful. So that's it. You're right. I am maybe 2 days a week, maybe, and 2 drinks. So the amount of time I talk about booze is probably building a story about my habits that my body can't cash.
Very definitely representative of Miss Kelly and her actual drinking habits. So we've got 25 minutes left because yes, my lash lady's coming because I got to go to Vegas and I need to get my lashes fixed. Even though I think they look pretty good now as I look at them.
Can we do a fingernail check though? Because you were going to. Okay, how are we feeling about it? Because you said you were going to be stubbies and hate it, but it looks like you're doing au naturel. How are we feeling?
My appointment's tomorrow.
I knew it. I knew you could not go to Vegas.
I'm trying to be lower maintenance.
Can you just put polish or
it comes off?
Gel? Okay. Your fingernails.
Look how small my hands are, though. I mean, they're really little hands.
Your fingernails are probably right now like, we're free. Yay, we're free. And then by tomorrow, they'll be like, now I can't breathe again.
Right now, they hurt because I flicked them off last night.
Shit.
Like one of them lifted and I was just like ripping those bitches off.
That would be me. That would be me.
I can't.
And isn't it weird when you do it and it hurts and you shouldn't be doing it? You're ripping a couple of layers of keratin off your nail and you do it anyways. You're like, fuck it, I got to take these things off.
Yeah, and they hurt right now. They hurt really bad. I don't like it. I guess I can't do any typing today because I'm injured.
Good thing there's talk to text.
I apparently don't enunciate well because my talk to text looks like
you said.
It's like a drunk person. I'm like, wait, I didn't say any of that. Anyway,
I do like. Speaking of automation, I do like the little ChatGPT trend right now. I saw you did it and I did it where you do if I was a warning label, what would I be? And Christy's warning label was very short and to the point. Mine was 10 pages long. I don't know which is worse. The fact that chat needed to go into detail about me or the fact that chat nailed you so quick in like a couple of sentences.
Well, I want to see what mine was because it was funny. I mean, it was dead on. I was like, well, it's, let me be clear. It's dead on for my personality on this podcast. I mean, I am not this person all the time as some people could. Well, I kind of am. Actually, that's a total fucking lie. This is a version of me, but this is probably the most prevalent version of me. Let me see.
Can I just say for everyone who's listening, sometimes with Christy, the best thing is to just stay quiet and let her reconcile out loud. You did a whole circle there. I was just like, I let her go.
You know what? Because I'm highly self-aware and I try to say things. I'm like, that's such bullshit. I'm lying.
Here was my warning. I'm lying to you and myself at this moment.
Because mine was short and sweet. I'm going to read it. So I just asked, I said, how would you describe me if I were a warning label? Or I can't even think today. What's my warning label if you were describing me? Warning, high energy, highly opinionated, likely to turn a quick drink into an adventure. Comes with kids, controlled chaos, big ideas, inappropriate laughter, and very little patience for boring. Handle with humor. I'm okay with that warning, actually.
Yeah, that is pretty good.
Handle with humor. That is correct. When in doubt, make me laugh.
When in doubt, make her laugh and then distract her with something else. I'm just surprised that neither one of ours had anything to do with swearing. So I was like, good, I like that. Don't talk about my swears. Mine is too long to read here.
Yeah, just make it shorter. Just hit shorten.
Okay, let me see.
Yeah,
we'll do this in
make it
real
shorter.
time.
Real time. We're supposed to be talking about memory, aren't we, today?
Yeah, but the irony is we forgot what we were going to talk about.
Well, Kelly, don't schedule podcasts for Monday morning because I can barely have a full sentence right now.
Okay, here's mine. I said shorten. Warning. Kelly is not a casual acquaintance. She's warm, funny, fiercely curious, and dangerously competent. She will ask a perfectly innocent question, then research it until everyone involved needs a spreadsheet. She has zero tolerance for bullshit, loves a good rabbit hole, and somehow turns "I'm just curious" into a 14-part investigation. If she says, okay, but what if? Run. You're already in the weeds.
Do you know what's funny about that? Is you do say that in meetings. You will say, okay, but what if? And I am like, and I know you well enough to be like, that means someone didn't have the answer Kelly wanted.
That's code
and
for
now
you're wrong.
That's code for thank you for everything you just contributed, but you're completely wrong. And I'm going to pivot right now because this is going to go quickly to a dumpster fire if I don't. Okay, so memory. My memory is I'm ADHD, man. My memory's selective. I just you could pick a topic from like 20 years ago and bring it up, and I might be able to like Rain Man it on you and just be not Rain Man. Is it Rain Man? Yeah, it's
Rain Man. Yeah.
And like go off
movie
on the
reference.
whole thing.
But
you got a movie reference.
I did. And I am a bit Rain Man-ish when it comes to numbers and things like that. Even though I hate math, fuck math, especially if the alphabet's involved. But I can Rain Man stuff. But the reason this topic even came up is because we were talking on the weekend about TV series and my inability to remember anything. And so I couldn't fall asleep one night. I went down a rabbit hole with ChatGPT about what the fuck is wrong with me? Do I have Alzheimer's? Why can't I remember movies?
Great.
I mean,
what did Chat have to say about that?
Well, Chat actually, interestingly, was less about recall and more about actually applying. I'm trying to think of the best way to describe it. I enjoy the movies and my brain is filtering it going, is this anything I'm going to need to remember? And streaming services, interestingly, seem to be exacerbating the problem that I have. So if you recall back in the day growing up, you would wait till every Thursday when the new Friends episode came up. And we didn't have this recap last week on the episode. So you had to be your own recap. You had to be like, what is that in reference to? Oh, yeah, remember that time? Gotcha. So you had to pull it out of your brain. Nowadays, we don't because we basically just sit there and vomit the entire series on ourselves. And you don't really have to recollect anything. So my brain is just close those tabs. And that's why I don't remember. Now, why other folks like yourself actually choose to remember it, I don't know. Like, I don't have that ability to like draw it back from the back of my brain, all of the lines. I do get concerned though when it's even the concept. I'm like, okay, I understand not remembering lines from the movie, but can I remember the fucking concept? That would be nice.
No, I mean, I've been trying to figure out how my brain works for quite a while now, Kelly, and there's not really a whole lot of rhyme or reason to it. And like I said, I don't know why I remember the things I remember. I remember really ridiculous things. Now, I'll walk into the kitchen 1,200 times before I figure out what I actually went in there for. My mom laughs at me. She's like, the amount of times in a day that you lose your phone. Because on my watch.
That's what your watch is for, is find my phone. I know I stopped wearing my Apple Watch mostly because I thought maybe that was contributing to my brain fog. So Emery wears it. But when I was wearing it, she was just like, how many times you gonna lose your phone? Because you could hear it ding, 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 ding. That's literally what my watch is for, is to remind me to stand up and then find my phone.
No, I love my watch because steps don't count unless they're on there. It also really is good with me because I'll be like, damn, I haven't moved at all today. I need to go do something. Also,
I felt that judgy.
It finds my phone. That's really what it does for me. Anyways, I don't know why I can remember things. I think a lot of what I remember is either traumatic points in movies or really funny points in movies. So it's
Oh,
not the
yes.
whole movie. It's just like it's like the headline. It's because I'm in advertising. I picked the single most persuasive idea.
Yeah,
And
exactly. And
back
I'm
it
just
back
going to
there.
beat the shit out of this. Yeah, I think the interesting part that I was talking to Chad about was like I have really strong autobiographical memory. I can remember stuff like where we were, what we were wearing, who said what, how I felt, how the room felt, all of those things that mattered, emotions. I remember mostly negative ones. I don't necessarily always remember the positive one, but really a weak entertainment memory, just terribly weak. And but my autobiographical memory is also very sparse, and I'm half afraid that I should probably unpack it, but maybe I don't want to. So I'm a pretty happy person. I feel like if my body has protected myself from 70% of my childhood memories, maybe that's a good thing.
Okay.
Christy's like, I don't know. It's
I
just childhood amnesia. It's fine.
there are things I remember crystal clear, but there are things like that didn't happen. But it's funny, the longer it's been since something happened, the better my memory seems to be about it. Like you could be like, "What'd you do last week on Monday?" And I'll be like, "What?" But if you're like, "Hey, when this happened 25 years ago," I'm like, "Yeah, I totally remember that." So I think it comes to like with what you encode in your brain and what
Yes.
you don't. And I think like, and I loved, I'm going to say, do you remember this? But hopefully you remember the movie Inside Out. Do you remember that movie?
I do remember the movie. Don't ask me any details, but I do remember like which emotion I resonated with, and don't ask me what her name or emotion was, but
Joy.
I don't think I resonated the most with Joy. I feel like
Disgust?
no. I think it was there
Sadness?
was there somebody who was just more afraid?
What?
See, I can't I
Well, so there were two movies, right? And you get because the first one was when Avery was little. See, why do I remember her name? But
you
there's a
don't
lady.
because her name is Emery.
Is it Emery?
My daughter's name? Yes.
No, I'm talking about
Definitely.
Inside Out.
And
I feel
welcome
like we
to
just need to
Monday.
call this. I think we just need this is our 29-minute podcast about absolutely nothing. It's Monday morning. I don't even know what to do with myself. I've
How to
lost the
Monday.
plot. Any hoozles. If you go back to that movie, maybe you should watch it. But it kind of shows, and I think it's really cool though, how it shows how the brain works, right? You have your short-term little memories, and then you have your memory banks down in like where your long-term memories, your core memories go, all of those things. And I think maybe movies just aren't that important to you. And so you can, just put it in a different place. I just don't understand. So I'm going to the Backstreet Boys this week. And I was never a huge Backstreet Boys fan. I liked them just fine, but I only know one of their names. Don't tell my friends that I'm going with. That's it. I know Nick. That's the only one whose name I know. The rest of them I don't. But I know all the songs. And what's amazing to me is I can't remember. Like I was making a chicken pot pie the other night, which was an absolute disaster. Get more on that in a minute. And I had to keep going back and looking at the recipe like so like quickly because like it would leave my memory. It's like half a cup of this, half a cup of this. And by the time I get over to the half a cup, I couldn't remember if it was a half cup or a fourth cup. So I had to go back and forth. So I'm sitting here, I can remember every lyric to like 1 billion songs, but I can't keep a teaspoon or a tablespoon worth of ingredient in my head long enough to cross the kitchen, get it, and put it into the bowl.
I know.
What the fuck is that?
I think that if we could turn our entire life into a soundtrack, we'd probably remember everything because I too can remember every song. We had some random country station here. Of course, you come up to a different location, you got to find the stations. So we had some random country station and it was playing country songs from the late 90s. And it's like I just heard them yesterday, singing every word. And I'm like, Jesus Christ. Conversely, we were playing the song because we were going up to the lake. We got to the lake. We rewatched the 3 episodes of Reacher that are now out because Andrew and I had watched them, but our friends had not. So we're like, yeah, sure, let's rewatch them. I joke because I'm like, because I'm not going to remember. Literally watched them 4 days earlier, forgot the whole fucking thing and watched it again.
All right. Well, first of all, I've never watched any of the Reachers. I guess I should put that on my list.
Well, I do watch it for some eye candy reasons. Go on.
Okay. It's funny. I was watching this show called Lucky. It's on Apple with my mom, and I read the book, and so I wanted to watch the movie, and it was a series and a limited time series or whatever. And Mom is so funny because we're so used to being able to watch the whole season at one time
Yeah.
that we got caught up to where we had to wait a week.
That's the
And
worst.
Mary was livid. She was
That's
like,
the
"What do you
worst.
mean we have to wait a week?" Mom, it's okay. This is how we used to watch TV. Do you remember? Do you remember? This is how we used to watch TV. But sorry, going back to music. The reason we can remember songs, because I just looked it up, is because it gives your brain multiple cues at the same time, including melody, rhythm, words, repetition, and emotion. That makes them much easier to retrieve than ordinary information.
So Bella, my almost daughter-in-law, when she was in college, she was doing pre-med stuff, and in her anatomy class, she and her roomie slash classmate wrote songs to remember all of the parts of this class, and she played it on a banjo or a ukulele, I think. I could probably go on YouTube and pull it all up again. And what a great idea. And they would sit there and sing these songs to remember all of the parts or the cell systems or whatever it was, which is brilliant. So maybe that's it. The tune, the repetition, all of those things. Even the little, did you have acronyms in school growing up? Like how to remember the music notes and things like that? Or the periodic table of elements? I'm guessing by your face that's a no.
It's Monday. It's not even 10 a.m. yet. My coffee hasn't hit. I don't remember. I mean, the worst, Kelly, the worst time to have a conversation about memory is on a Monday morning for me because I don't remember anything. I don't remember
Especially if
what
she had to
happened.
clean up poop at 12:30.
Well, yeah, because also didn't sleep. So now I'm working on no sleep and it's Monday and my memory is terrible. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I'm failing this podcast. I'm
No,
failing the
you're
morning podcast on memory. I don't remember shit. I'm sorry. I
I've
forget things all the time. I have to create systems in my house to make sure I don't screw things up. For instance, my kids' stuff, all of their sports stuff goes immediately from their bodies to the washer back to their bags. We would never find anything. Never
huh.
find anything. I set alarms for myself all the time to do basic level shit because I'll forget.
I think that's interesting though, because you're just playing to your weakness. You're like, okay, I know I'm shit at this, so these are the things I got to do. For me, you get the email notice, so you sign up for paperless billing because who the fuck wants to get bills in the mail? And so they send you the email, and it's like, here's your bill, and it's due on this date. The moment I open that email, because they put it with a date on it, I just click the date, which opens up my calendar on the day that it is due. And I put the total, which I can never remember. I have to go back to the email a couple of times and copy paste, but I put it in my calendar to remind me to pay the fucking bill. Yes, I could probably just set up for auto pay, but at least this way I feel more in control of where my money is going. But I do the same thing. I'm like, I got to put it in my calendar. I also put to-dos in my calendar when on my work calendar. I'll
Mhm.
block a period of time and it's like, these are all the things you have to do. I could write them on my sticky notes, but my sticky notes are reserved for very important things, like to remember to watch the Netflix Brett Favre show that you talked about on Friday.
I have to do a whole episode, and I sent this to you. I want to do a episode on popular culture and things, but I gotta tell you, Brett Favre, man, that hurt my heart. And I guess maybe because I'm not a huge like I was never a huge fan of his. I had no idea at the amount of fuckery he did. Like I'm so sad. It makes me really sad. And I was already sad because, and I'm gonna butcher her name, Hating Panettiere.
Yes.
She passed away last week, and for those of you that don't know who she is, a lot of people didn't. I'm like, she was the little girl on Remember the Titans. She played Lizzie on Guiding Light, or As the World Turns. I can't remember. She was the cheerleader on Heroes. She was in Nashville, and she is just a firecracker. And I just loved this actress, and I just finished her book, of course, because the second she died, I had to read her memoir. But I mean, they think it's a drug overdose. There's something to do with drugs, but
Yeah.
man, I tell you, it was so reading her book, she doesn't do it from a victim standpoint at all, and she has had a great life. But man, having that baby changed everything for her. And I felt so bad for her because she talks about postpartum a lot in there. And people are like, "Oh, it passes or whatever." Like having a baby changes your brain chemistry
Yeah.
permanently.
Yep.
period. And she talks a lot about the worrying, but a lot of hers was feeling very numb. And so she didn't get involved with drugs and alcohol really till after she had a baby.
Yes, I do remember that because she was dating or engaged. I don't know if they were ever married to
No,
a,
they were never married.
yes, to a Ukrainian, he's like
Boxer.
boxer. He's a twin, I think. And she ended up giving up custody. And I'm not saying she like lost custody. She chose to have her daughter raised
Well,
more by her baby daddy. Did she not?
it's not quite how it happened. So how it happened was they would so he was Vlad is his name.
Mm-hmm.
Vlad was always over training, and so he was in Europe, and so one time when they were over there, he like sits her down and puts papers in front of her and tells her to sign them, and she's like, she's like, I had never once been drunk or anything when she was around with by myself, like never a single time. We had great nannies and all of these things, and so basically she was put in a position where he's like, we can go to court over this, but we're gonna have to go to court in the Ukraine and the US
Mm.
because she had dual citizenship.
But let me turn this
And so
around.
and
Let me
so
ask, can I ask
for
you
her,
this
she
though?
just didn't think she could mentally handle it.
Yeah, what? Court
The
or
the
raise the
the
baby?
court. The
Mm.
court. And I think
Mm.
too, I mean, she knew she had problems. She went to rehab. She was working on it. She tried. But also too, I mean, you have to know, I mean, and her brother had just passed away too, and
Mhm.
he died of some enlarged heart situation, but he also had a drug problem. And you know what drugs can do to your heart? Make it enlarged, right? So was dealing with a lot of different stuff. And I think that I feel for her in that book. Like, I can't imagine ever giving up custody of my kids. I don't know how you'd have to get them from me. But to sit there and to realize that you're going to have to fight this battle of your lifetime and you're not even mentally okay enough to get through your daily life. I don't know.
Yeah, definitely when I saw it, I thought it was one of those sort of like rage bait posts where I'm like, that's not true. And anytime I see anything like that on a social media feed, I never click anything related to it. I go out and into Google and I'm just like, please tell me. And then when you see it on like ABC, CBS, like one of the legitimate news feeds, you're like, oh shit, this is actually real. This happened. Then I immediately felt for her parents because of that historical piece with the brother that I want to say was 3 years ago, maybe 3, four
I don't
years
know.
ago. I don't believe it was that long ago.
It
And
wasn't.
how heartbreaking to have that be their reality. And then I did see, not to call moms out, but she's the one who made a statement. And her statement about her daughter's death was like a work post. Like it wasn't, I just thought, oh, say nothing. If you're going to say something that sounds like you're her manager, your business manager's posting. Oh,
Well, she was. And then they had a split where she was like, I just need you to be my mom.
yeah. So just don't post.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's just such a hard thing. I was just sad because I'd always really liked her as an actress and then also as a person. And when she started talking out about, postpartum depression, and people think it looks different ways, but there's a lot of ways that it can look. And one is numb.
Numb that is an interesting description. I also have seen some data that's come out recently about the newest GLP-1 retatrutide, which is like
Ooh, what is
Ozempic is a GLP-1, tirzepatide is a GLP-1 that also hits this other receptor, and now this retatrutide hits like 3 different receptors. But numbness is the side effect that they're noticing more than anything else, and numbness to everything, which is maybe not what you want. I'm okay with the numbness to the food noise, numbness to my entire world. Maybe not.
Yeah, numb is if I'm numb, we got real problems.
This is what I say, even in work. Relationships, it's true as well, right? So when you're going through stressful things, you have this it's almost like the stages of grief. And as long as on teams, if your teams are agitated or angry or any of those adjectives, that's okay because there's still fight in them. If they've reached apathy, that's a real problem. That's like no CPR is resuscitating this team. So I agree. Numbness is a real problem. If you got to numb and you don't give a shit,
Yeah.
hard to come back. Yeah, hard to come back. That's sad, though. I definitely was sad when I saw that. We need a good news. Now we need a good news story.
Now we
We
need a
can't
good
end
news.
on a
I will
sad
say,
one.
I think her ex-boyfriend had something to do with it. I think there's some sort of
Yes.
foul play happening, even though
He
they
went
said
to
there wasn't.
jail. He went to jail
He
for domestic
beat the shit out of
violence
her, like,
against
again
her.
and again. And what's interesting, okay, and I'm not gonna get into all of this, but I'm gonna get into it just a little bit. It's funny because he was drunk when he would do it. So people are like, "Why do you go back and why do you do this?" And she's like, "Because you learn to separate the two people.
Yeah.
They're not
Yep.
the same person, but they are the same person."
Yes.
And so anyway, I just want to say, rest in peace, Hayden. I think you were awesome, and man, sad to see you leave. Now we got to move on to something happy because this is Monday, and now we're even sadder.
You must have some good Taylor Swift news or something. Makes you happy.
No
when you
Taylor
see
Swift.
it.
I want to see the damn dress, Taylor. Where's my dress? I want to see the wedding dress.
I love that she is like keeping everything secret.
Pisses me off. No, I'm like, Tay, we want to see the damn dress. I can tell you about my Thursday night. Do you want to hear about my Thursday night? That's not funny. That's just maybe it'll make you cry, but it's actually silliness. So this is a fun Thursday night. So I actually ended up having my kids on Thursday night, which I usually don't. So drop Presley off at soccer practice at 4:30. She then has volleyball practice at 6:30. She rides with her friend to that. Colton has a baseball game. Colton and I get to his baseball game. Colton is a hot little mess. And he starts like crying. We suck. They moved up. Okay. So in the spring, they were killing everyone. So they moved them to the top tier, right? But no one knew this. And the coach just told us. I was like, "Ooh, that's good to know." But Colton is just being extra, like he's tired and grumpy. And like he starts crying, like, "We suck," like screaming, crying. And he said, when the coach puts his helmet on to go back, he goes, "My ear hurts." And I go over there and I look and there's pus coming out of his ear.
What?
And I'm like, shit, he's got an ear infection.
Oh, I've never actually, of all the ear infections raising children, had purulent one. Yeah.
Huh. Well, I mean, he has tubes too, so his is supposed to run out.
Oh, okay. That makes sense then. Okay.
So anyways, so I was like, "Well, buddy, you got an ear infection. You got to go to the doctor." "I don't want to go to the doctor." I was like, "Okay, well, here's the deal. We're going to the doctor. Do you want to go right now or do you want to wait till the game's over?" And I was like, "But he's like, I want to play my game." I'm like, "Okay, yeah, no more crying then. Okay, let's just get it together."
Get your shit together.
Get your shit. And so what I love about living in Kansas City is this. I finished his game, took him to the urgent care, got my script, and made it by 8:00 to pick up Presley and her buddy 15 minutes away.
So it does sound like your friend's plan for landing at 5 p.m. and then immediately hosting a KC game 2 hours later is not out of the question.
It's not, especially she has a highly functioning husband. Andy will take care of it.
Tell me more about this unicorn you speak of.
I don't know. I haven't gotten his permission to use his name on the podcast. Okay, but
never mind. Nobody likes a bragger.
Well, I mean, you know, those two together, man, they could take over the whole world. I'm like, you two are just scarily good at what you do. It's amazing. And then we're having this party for our friend that I'm hosting at my house, but Erica and Jenny are involved. You know, they're my planners. Mm-hmm. Can I tell you what I'm doing for the party?
Crowd control? Nothing. You're hosting.
My house is going to be clean. To the point that while we were on this call, Jenny was like, sent me a text like, "Hey, I know you're supposed to do these 3 things, but I also know you're getting back from Vegas. Do you just want me to take care of that for you?" I'm like, yes, Jenny, you are the best little sister in the freaking world. And I love you. But like, she literally was like, that's easy for me to handle. And that's going to be hard for Christy because she's Christy. And
it's going to be too much for my big sister. I'm going to just take this. Jenny, I need a Jenny. What do you want to do? A West Coast version, Jenny? You could have the curly-haired brunette sister named Kelly.
You can't
pretty
have her.
High functioning. Why not?
You can't have her. Hey, listen, I think my inability to like do simple tasks makes Jenny feel good. Okay,
it's possible.
If we got big problems, Christy can handle it. I'm like, if it's little, like, I'm like, I don't know. What are we doing? What are we doing, Jenny?
I have a brother who is 1 year older than me, who is very capable at doing many, many different DIY type projects. But what he is absolute shit at is actually doing them, which would drive me crazy. My brother has lived in the same house for probably 20 years and has 2 projects that have been unfinished. At this point, I think he's doing that just to piss me off, that are very visible projects that are unfinished. So we were over there last week for some dinner with them and to visit my mom. and Joth still didn't have this one. I'm like, I'm just going to come and I'm going to do it. It's a construction project, but I could do it. I'm like, Jonathan, when you're working one day, I'm just going to come and I'm going to finish it. And he's like, great. And then I'm going to get home from work and I'm going to burn the fucking house down if you touch it. But I'm just like, Jonathan. So I'm going toe to toe with Jonathan in the kitchen, and Emery is looking at me like, Mom, why are you being so aggressive? And then she says it loud. She goes, oh my God, I forgot you guys are siblings. Like it all of a sudden clicked for her why I was being so aggressive and why his reaction was so aggressive. She's like, oh, of course, you're siblings.
I love that. Also, I have a hard stop in 4 minutes, so we have to finish what we're talking about.
We were just bringing joy. We brought joy. Here's some joy. If you're missing joy, Ted Lasso's new season's on, and if you need joy, man, that show will do it for you.
I love Roy.
Tell me you haven't seen it. Oh, I thought you were going to say I haven't seen it. I do love Roy.
Of course I've seen it.
Okay. Phew.
I love Ted Lasso. He's one of my favorite characters of all human ever made, but I love me some Roy.
Okay, so if you had to be one of the characters, who are you?
Oh, I'm definitely the blonde. Not the
Hannah Waddingham?
Keely. I'm not Keely. No, I'm the one in charge.
Are you sure you're not Keely?
I am not Keely. Why would you say I was Keely? Do you think I'm Keely? Do you think I'm Keely in your what's her name?
I never said who I was.
Hold on,
I think I'm fucking Ted Lasso.
Like, I don't think you're Ted Lasso.
Ted Lasso is always the glass half full, positive, like this is going to be okay. We can do these things. No,
this is also your online persona. You're also like, let's get shit done, people, and I'm not taking anyone's bullshit today, okay?
And I definitely am Hannah Waddingham. But maybe you could be her from the sexy side. You definitely look like her. But I'm going to be her personality where it's like, we're going to get this shit done.
I do have a lot of pink stuff, so maybe I am like Keely. Although she mishandles stuff, and I would never let that happen. Like the uniforms not showing up on time, that would never happen in my world. Never.
Unless you had 14 other projects that were also.
No, because I would. Those are things that have to be like
that would have an alarm set.
Listen, when it comes to work, that's different. Okay. My personal life might be in chaos, but work is buttoned up.
Chrissy has her shit together. I love that I now have a cat. Okay, well, you get your lashes done. I'm glad. I hope you have no more poops this week that you have to be responsible for, especially in Vegas. If there are any poops that happen in Vegas, they're not your responsibility. Those are all humans. But look on the bright side. Your week could only get better from here.
Oh, you're going to get a lot of funny texts from me this week. Let's be clear.
I can't wait. Like, follow, share. Love you. Have a great week.
You too.